This is our next set of notes for Unit 2. This is angle addition and segment addition postulate notes. So make sure you have your paper out with me and you're following along. Alright, here we go. First section we're looking at is a recall. We call it recall because we've actually already taught you segment addition postulate. We taught you that when we did the midpoint and distance stuff. Midpoint and endpoint notes. We taught you segment addition in there. But we're just going to recap it real quick for you. So in geometry, the segment addition postulate states that when given two points, A and C, and a third point B that lies on the line segment, AC, if and only if the distance between the 2 points satisfies the equation AB plus BC equals AC. That is a segment addition postulate. Explaining it to you again, it's a pretty easy concept and a lot of y'all already get it. Just saying that if I have a whole segment here, AC, the segment addition postulate says if point B is in the middle, then AB, whatever that is, plus BC will have to equal the whole thing AC. So this part AB plus this part BC will have to equal the whole thing AC. That's an easy enough concept. Once again, if y'all understand, if you understand that concept, then you should be able to write equations based off of that. So real quick in our recap, we're going to do part A here. Everybody should be okay with this. Part A says determine the measure below by using the diagram given. They give you a diagram on this one. On this one though, the only difference is the letters are different. And then also, instead of giving you 2 pieces of a segment, they give you 3 pieces of a segment. The concept is still the same. Part plus a part plus a part equals the whole thing. So, you should be able to write this equation and solve. On this one, if you look down at the bottom, they tell you how they want the answers. They want the value of x, and then they want LK. So solve for x, then solve for LK. Go ahead and do that now. Alright, so just a real quick recap. You should have started your equation like me with the x minus 6 plus 9 plus 2x minus 19 equals 23. You see I boxed and grouped and circled my variables and my constants. And then after that, I combined like terms, got 3x minus 16 equals 23. Added 16 to both sides. And I got 3x equals 39 divided by 3. X equals 13. So for me, x equals 13. But then after that, I plug back in for LK. That's what they asked me for, which was 2x minus 19. So I did 2 times 13 minus 19. 2 times 13, 26 minus 19, 7. Easy work. Part B, it says, how could you solve for x using the segment postulate? Explaining in complete sentences. I'm just going to say what we did. Y'all can just copy me. So I would say the segment addition postulate states you can add NM plus ML plus LK and set it equal to NK. I'm just writing in words what I've seen over here in my segments. Add NM plus ML plus LK, set it equal to the whole thing, which is NK. So moving on. So that's recap. That's what we already know. Let's get into what we need to know. And honestly, from what we've been doing all week, we've kind of been learning this already. You just haven't known that you've been learning it. The angle addition postulate. Same concept as segment addition, except for it's an angle now. Instead of looking at a segment. So on here it says if D is the interior of angle ABC, then so it's saying if D is the interior of angle ABC, then the angle addition postulate is going to tell us this, that angle ABD, and I'm going to mark them as I go. I'm going to color code for y'all too. Angle ABD plus angle DBC is equal to angle ABC. So it's saying this small angle plus this small angle equals the whole full angle. Similar concept. If you know that, then you'll be able to write equations. And now that you're thinking about it, you should know that we've already wrote some equations like this already. Especially those linear pair equations and stuff like that that we've been doing so far. Same concept. So in geometry, the angle addition postulate states that point D lies in the interior of an angle ABC. Then the postulate describes that putting two angles side by side or another word for side by side, adjacent, with their vertices together creates a new angle whose measure equals the sum of the measure of the two original angles. That's saying putting two small angles adjacent to each other creates a bigger angle, which is the sum of both of those small angles together. It's an easy enough concept to understand. Y'all should all get that. So we're done with all our words. Let's go on the back and apply this. I'm going to do a lot of handing off on the back here because I don't feel like doing all the work myself. So on number 2 and 3, they say refer to this figure right here. So on this one, and this is what I told y'all the other week I wish I could do, but it was too hard for us to draw out, but we can do it now. I need to duplicate this figure because I like to label all my stuff, and I'm going to show you, and I think y'all should too. So just because I'm using this for 2 and 3 and they're two different problems, I'm going to redraw this. You don't have to make it hard for yourself either. It's not hard to draw. Draw a little obtuse angle. Try to get it similar to the one up there. A straight line at the bottom. And then draw your little D ray coming out of there right there. And then label it B A C and point D. Alright, now that we duplicated, we can label these twice. That's what we need to do. So I'm using this top one up here for number 2. Number 2, it says if the measure of angle ABD is 48 degrees, so ABD, on angle ABD, I'm going to label that 48. Degrees, and I'm color coding everything for y'all. And the measure of angle DBC is 78 degrees. Find the measure of angle ABC. So now that I've labeled, it should be easy for y'all to figure out what you need. ABC, I'm gonna mark that across my full one. On this one, it should be obvious. I'm not even gonna ask. We should know what to do. If we want to find ABC, we're gonna add, right? Alright. So, I mean, we could waste our time writing out the formula, but these are easy. So the measure of angle ABC on this one is going to equal 48 degrees plus 78 degrees. And then we need to give the measure of angle ABC. It's a shame I don't feel like thinking right now. I had to open up my calculator. 126 degrees. Alright, so that's easy. Obviously, I know they're not going to be that easy, but it's just starting y'all out to get y'all comfortable with it. So number 3, on this one, it says DBC is 74 degrees. And it said ABC is 119 degrees. ABC. And since it's the big one, I like to put that on the outside. I don't put it on the interior. I'm going to put it up here. It's 119 degrees. They want us to find a measure of angle ABD. It should be obvious to y'all, but somebody tell me what to do. Measure of angle ABD equals, what do I do? Tell me what to do, not what it equals. And then we'll write what it equals afterwards. Yeah, we should subtract, right? And you said 119 minus 74. And we got what from that? 45. Measure of angle ABD. It's supposed to be a D. Equals 45 degrees. So slight work right there. Those two. Forgot the box. You know, I like boxing my answers. Alright. Moving on down. Getting to the stuff you really need. You know, some of it's gonna look familiar anyway, because like I said, we've already kind of attacked this a little bit. For example, number 4. I don't even want to do number 4. I'm gonna just let y'all solve number 4. Somebody tell me what number 4 is first. And what I mean, like, based on the way they have this, what angle relationship do these two angles have on number 4? These two angles. So I'll mark them for you. What's the relationship between this angle and this angle? Angle relationship. Everybody should know it. That's right. They're a linear pair. So we should know how to write this equation, right? You should know how to write this equation and solve. write the equation on that one and solve. This is angle, addition, postulate, but like I said, we've already handled this. Alright. You should have did your work like I did and got x equals 25 when you solved. Now, one thing I will say, just to add in on here on this problem, if you ever want to check and see if your answer was correct, you know this is a linear pair, it should add up to 180. You can plug back in on both sides if you wanted to. Like if I plug back in over here, 2 times x is 450 minus 5, 45 degrees. On this side, if I plug in 5 times 25 is 125 plus 10, give me 135 degrees. 135 plus 45 will give me 180. So yeah, we good. That's like just a way to check and make sure your answer is correct if you wanted to. Even though you don't have to plug in on this one, they only ask you for x. But whatever you get for x should satisfy this to the point where you get 180, which I do. Alright, moving on. Determine the value of x when the measure of angle FCD equals x plus 41. The measure of angle BCF equals x plus 78. And the measure of angle BCD equals 95 degrees. So I'm labeling on this one again. So they gave me FCD first, my smallest one. And I'm going to label that one. I'm going to actually put my expression on there. I'm going to say, okay, x plus 41 degrees here. And then on my other one, they gave me x on BCF, right? Yeah, BCF. They gave me x plus 78. And then they told me the whole thing, BCD was 95 degrees. You know, if they give me the whole thing, like I said, I leave it outside. So with that, you just gotta write your equation and solve. All you gotta do is figure out how to write equations. Like I said, that's the geometry part. After that, the solving should just be all algebra. But the setup is easy. On this one, so you know my equation, I'm not even gonna ask because my equation is easy. It's x plus 41 plus x plus 78 equals 95. And then I need to solve that. The minor like terms, I'm not even gonna box on this one because my terms are so easy. X and x, 2x, 41 and 78. Just double check on here. I don't want to mess up. It's late and I'm be tripping. 119 plus 119 equals 95. Alright. After that, subtract 119, subtract 119, cancel. So 95 minus 119, get negative 24. So bring down 2x equals negative 24. And then the last thing I need to do, divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals negative 12. Now, key here, on this one they only ask us to find the value of x. When you're doing these problems, just like when we were doing lengths, if you were to find your angle you won't have a negative angle. but I'm not finding the angle on here, I'm finding X. If I was to plug back in, my angles would not be negative. For example, so I'm telling you, but you can have a negative variable, you just can't have a negative angle. Just like we couldn't have a negative distance when we did the segment stuff. When I plug back in, I get negative 12 plus 41. That's going to be a positive answer. I think it's going to be like positive 29 or something like that. Yeah, 29 degrees. Up here, negative 12 plus 78. When I plug that back in, it's going to give me a positive answer too. It's going to be positive 66. 60 something. No, 50. Oh, I'm tripping. 56. Yeah. And then, yeah, 56 plus 29 will give you 95. I'm tripping on that. Math all off today. But yeah, so you can have a negative variable. I just want to reiterate that for some of you. You can have a negative variable. You just can't have negative degrees once you plug in. And you won't on this. So don't freak out if your variable's negative, as long as your degrees isn't, if you have to plug back in. Alright. So I did that one. Number 5. Number 6, similar problem, not exactly the same. You have to read and label. I want you to read and label that one and write your equation the right way. And I'm giving you this one for a reason. I feel like some of y'all not gonna pay attention. Y'all gonna think it's exactly the same as the last one and not pay attention, and you're gonna label wrong, and then you're gonna set up your equation wrong. But I want to give y'all a chance to do that. I don't even want to label for you. I was going to, but I think you need to label on your own. Read it, label the angles correctly, similar to how I did mine, and based on how you label your angles, write your equation, and then solve. I want to see what you come up without me, because I'll be helping y'all too much sometimes. Alright, so you should have set up like me from when you label. I label my stuff like this, based off what they told me. First of all, angle HGF, the first one they gave me was the whole thing, so I put that out here. The next one they gave me, EGF, was this angle right here that I got 110 on, this angle. And then HGE was this small angle up here, 3x plus 11. So once I labeled, I realized I should add this plus this to equal this. I know a lot of y'all didn't do that because y'all thought 110 should have went over there by itself, not paying attention, not labeling. That's not, like, look, you have to label correctly and then write it how it is. This, whatever they put on the angles, that's what you put in the right spots. A lot of kids, and my kids every year, always think that because you see something one way one time, like up here, like you saw just the number by itself up here on this one, that's the same thing that's supposed to happen over here. And no, it's however they call it out, that's how you label and that's how you organize it. Like, it should have went like this, and you should have wrote your equation this way: 3x plus 11 plus 110 equals 6x plus 4, because 6x plus 4 was the whole thing. And then you solve from there. Then from there I solved. I moved my term to one side, smaller term. I told y'all I always move my smaller term. Then after that, I just solved the two-step equation, which was easy. Got x equals 9. And it's funny, I don't know why we did this for the last problem, but we made this last problem super easy. I mean, it shouldn't take out nothing but a second to do. I'm probably not even going to give you the answer to this one. It says find KLM. KLM is the full angle here, but they give you KLB, which is 26 degrees, and then they give you BLM, which is 60. I don't know why we made this last problem, because it's super easy to do. But yeah, find the measure of angle KLM. Definitely not doing that one with you. Alright, so that's the end of our notes. This last one is super easy. If you don't know how to do it, then you haven't been paying attention to the notes at all. always say, go back and look over the notes if you need them to do it again. As many times as you need to watch them, that's how many times you need to watch them until you get the hang of this stuff. This is not hard. You can't be struggling on this. This is too easy. So if you didn't grasp it, go back and watch again. Watch it as many times as you need to. Alright, that's it for our notes. Appreciate it.